Welcome back to another episode of Ideas to Human Better. I am your host, Eva Payne, and today we're talking about intuition, one of my favorite subjects, and truly something that I believe if more people could tap in and truly listen to their intuition, humanity would evolve in a very rapid way. I'm going to give you some examples today where intuition was really loud in my life and some examples where it was a little bit more subtle. And I'm also going to share ways that you can improve your intuition. So, what is intuition? Intuition is the opposite of conscious reasoning. Conscious reasoning a lot of times it's in our logical brain, okay, which whatever that means, logical brain, but it's that side of our brain that says that's weird, why would you do that, don't do that, you don't know that person, don't say that thing. Where intuition will say, no, give that compliment. Intuition will say, do that thing. Intuition will say, start that business or go and learn about that thing, or that seems off or interesting. And it's that subtle voice that we can get better at listening to and then acting on. And miraculous things happen in our life when we listen to our intuition. Flow starts to happen, synchronicities start to happen, meaningful moments and interactions and connections happen when we listen to our intuition. So here's one example from my life. I was in a Walmart about 2, 3 years ago. No, it was definitely longer than that. Isn't that interesting? Time. I'm going to say it was like 6 years ago, actually. And I'm walking in this Walmart. It's a fall day in Southern California, and I have a scarf on that I had just got from a friend. I'd only worn it a couple times. I loved it, and every time I wore it, literally every time I wore it, I got a compliment. Hey, I like your scarf. Hey, I like your scarf. Hey, where'd you get that? And I'd say, oh, from my friend. She has a little boutique. Well, this one particular time, two women passed by, and the older gal said to me, hey, I like your scarf. And I replied back with the sentence that I always say, thank you so much. I just got it. And then something different happened this time. This time, when my cart passed her cart in the grocery store aisle, the voice in my head said to me, Eva, stop your cart. It was clear as day. And intuition isn't always clear as day, but this time it was clear as day. So I stopped my cart and I said, okay, yes, what? Like waiting for what it wanted me to do. And it said, turn your cart around and go give that woman your scarf. And I thought, what? That is the weirdest thing I have ever heard. I am not going to give a random lady in a Walmart my scarf. A, I love it. And B, it's just weird. It's not logical. Intuition over intellect. Intuition over intellect. Okay, I'll turn my cart around and go give this woman my scarf because logically this made no sense. But intuition was so clear and so loud that I just knew I had to listen to it. And I'll tell you why I listened to intuition after this story. So I turned my cart around and I went up to her and I was a little nervous because sometimes intuition asks us to do things that take courage. And giving away your scarf to a random person because intuition told you to do this was a courageous act for me. So I turned my cart around, went up to her and said, excuse me, I know this is going to sound weird, but I want you to have this. And I took the scarf off around my neck and I put it around her neck. I took my scarf off and put it around a random lady in Walmart. And she was so taken back, like, wait, what? Are you sure? And I said, please, please, sure. I know where I can get another one, as if it was no big deal. And I do this all the time, which I don't. And all of a sudden, I just felt this relief, like, okay, I did the right thing. And she was grateful. We went our separate ways. And that would have been enough. That would have been enough. However, a couple aisles later, the younger gal came up to me and said, hey, do you mind coming back over and talking to my mom? She wasn't going to tell you, but I told her she had to tell you. And I said, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. So I turned my cart around. I went over with her. I met her mom. We talked for a little bit. And then she said, I just want to let you know how important this is. I just got back from the hospital. My husband's been diagnosed with cancer and is not doing well. And this small act of kindness is the nicest thing anyone has done for me in a really long time. She said, it felt like my prayers were finally being heard. Wow. Wow. It was all I could think, and just started thanking intuition. Thank you, intuition. Thank you, intuition. And I said, I just listened to my intuition and it said to stop the cart and turn around and give it to you. Dean Koontz, the author, said, intuition is seeing with the soul. Intuition is seeing with the soul. And my soul saw that woman's soul needed to be heard. She needed to know that she wasn't alone in her struggle and that something outside of us was listening to her and knew what she needed. I'm so grateful for that moment because it's moments like those in my life that make me feel connected to something bigger and greater than ourselves. When I was 21 years old, I started a nonprofit organization. And the reason why I started that nonprofit was because for 2 months, every single day in the summer of 1998, my intuition was saying, Eva, I know you think you're in your dream job right now, but you're not. You're supposed to start a summer camp for kids impacted by HIV and AIDS. This is what you're supposed to do. And I thought it was nuts because I didn't particularly know anyone impacted by this disease. I wasn't super connected to it. I felt drawn towards this cause more than anything else, but I didn't really know why. And then I took a year of planning. I said, okay, intuition, I'm going to do it. I'm just fine. Let's just see how this goes. And I took an entire year. I went to school, I went to work, and I started a nonprofit summer camp for kids impacted by HIV and AIDS. And it's been 22 years this summer of running that organization. The impact that that organization has had on thousands of lives, and not just because of my involvement in it, but because of the thousands of volunteers that we've had and the amazing openness and love of the kiddos and the families that we serve, we have had a ripple effect into thousands of lives because I was willing to say yes to my intuition when it made zero logical sense. I believe that when we follow our intuition, we improve our life and we improve the lives of the people around us. And it is a ripple effect that goes out into the world. And sometimes intuition is going to ask you to take a wild, courageous leap into an idea. And especially when that idea is like in your heart and in your mind and it won't let you go and it keeps coming up over and over again, listen to it. See what happens. Say yes on a very small scale. Here's your perfect example. I was in a Bevmo and I was checking out and the voice in my head kept saying, tell that girl she's pretty, tell that girl she's beautiful, say something nice about that cashier. And finally I was walking out, I'd already paid, and I stopped and I turned around and said, I just want to let you know that you're really stunning. And she paused and looked at me and tears started to well up in her eyes. And she was a really pretty human. And she's really, really, she said. And I said, I'm telling you what, the voice in my head said it like 5 times and I wasn't listening. And finally I just said, I'm just going to say it. And so I did. And I don't know why, but it mattered to her so much. Her soul needed to hear that from someone else. And I was willing to listen and just offer that compliment. I tell my kiddos all the time, if you think something nice about someone else, just say it. You have no idea the impact that you're going to have on someone else's life by listening to your intuition and by stepping towards the thing that maybe doesn't make a lot of logical sense. So how do you improve your intuition? All right, so 3 key things. One is you have to make room for it. You have to believe that intuition is a real thing. And if you don't believe intuition is a real thing, go look up stories. Here's another one, perfect example. I don't know why this happened, but I'm on a walk. a random song comes on my iTunes. It's on shuffle. And it's a song that reminded me of my mother for whatever reason. And the thought went through my head once, twice, three times, send this to your mom, send this to your mom. So I screenshot it and I sent it to her. I said, thinking of you. And she replied back, what made you just send that to me? And I said, I don't know. Intuition was telling me to send it to you. And she said to me, do you know your sister, who's 19 years younger than me, 20 years younger than me, came in 5-10 minutes before that and said, Mom, I can't get this song out of my head. And it was the exact same song. See, I believe humans are telepathic in nature, that we have a connection to each other, that our souls hear one another and we see one another. And we're there to answer the call when we listen to our intuition. And my sister started freaking out. She's like, are you psychic? Are you psychic? And I said, no, this is just proof that we are telepathic and that we do have this intuition and that it is there for us to learn and grow and serve other people. When you use your essence to get out into the world and fill needs, and you listen to your intuition on how best to do that, the ripple that you could have in this world could be profound. And whether it's the cashier at Bevmo or the woman in Walmart or an entire summer camp of people over 22 years, you can have that kind of impact in other people's lives by listening to your intuition. So make room for intuition. Number 2, practice mindfulness. If you want your intuition to work, you have to be in the present moment. That is where intuition drops in. If you are someone who ruminates about the past, you're always worried about the past, what happened about the past, past is what's going through your mind, there's no room for intuition. If you're fearful about the future, what's going to happen tomorrow, you're stressed, you don't know, you're worried, you're thinking about the future. There is no future. There is only right now. And intuition is trying to break through. It's trying to talk to you. It's trying to tell you where to go, what to do, how to do it. We just need to be mindful and present in the moment. And we do that by just tapping into our heart. I believe everything in our body operates through our heart chakra, through the center of us. Our brain, when we let our brain rule our lives, when we let intellect rule our lives, we stunt creativity, we stunt imagination. And when we are open and we open up our hearts to what's possible and we say, all right, creativity, let's go. Okay, intuition, let's go. All right, imagination, let's go. So many amazing things can happen. Look, the reason why we have iPhones is because Steve Jobs trusted his intuition over his intellect. And that's a really smart man. Steve Jobs says intuition is a very powerful thing, more powerful than intellect. Have the courage to follow your intuition, for it somehow already knows who you want to become. Have the courage to listen to your heart and follow your intuition so that you can get out there and create magical moments for yourself and for other people. All right, that's my message today. Who do you want to become and how are you going to get there? One of the best ways is to listen to your intuition and test your hunches. When the thing comes up, put fear aside, step into courage and test it. See what happens. Stop your cart, give away your scarf, give away that compliment. Start that thing. Get rid of that secret. Practice mindfulness. You have everything inside of you that you need to be successful in this life. I challenge you to test your hunches, make room for intuition, and practice mindfulness so that together we can evolve humanity. This is just one idea to human better, and I hope you'll take it to heart. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.